welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here, and happy Mask Monday if you are new to my channel. Hi, my name is Jennifer. I do Mask Mondays. I do a lot of makeup material. I do subscription box openings, unboxings, or whatever you want to call them. I do cooking videos, and I do talk about mental health sometimes. If you're into any of that, or say you're into all of that, then I would love it if you would hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, set it to all so that you're notified every time that I upload a new video. On Mondays, I do a thing called a Mask Monday where I usually put on a sheet mask and just do something a little different. Sometimes I unbox boxes, sometimes I just chit-chat. Today I wanted to go over some books that I have read because I am part of a subscription box called Book of the Month Club, where I get a new book every month, and I have finally finished reading 2 of the books in here, and I wanted to talk about them with you. And I am halfway through one of the books, and I wanted to share my newest book that I got. And if we had time, I wanted to talk about a TV series on Netflix that I would recommend, that I am really excited about. If you're wondering what sheet mask I am using, it is the Kala Skin Smoothie. It is the watermelon facial mask sheet. It is ultra hydrating with watermelon, cucumber, rosemary, pumpkin, and apple extract. It smells divine. I got this from Susan's Just Making It. She sent it over to me. Thank you so much, Susan. I am really enjoying it. So, the first book I finished, first of all, the Book of the Month Club, you get to pick one book and kind of what genre you like. And I always pick the mystery, murder, thriller genre is my sort of thing. And I have read a lot of books in that genre, so I'm kind of picky about what kind of books I like. This book is called Things We Do in the Dark. I think it's the second book I got from them. I've only gotten 4 books from them. And let me just read you the synopsis here. It says, when Paris Peralta is arrested in her own bathroom, covered in blood, holding a straight razor, her celebrity husband dead in the bathtub behind her, she knows she'll be charged with murder. But as bad as this looks, that's not what worries her the most. With the unwanted media attention now surrounding her, it's only a matter of time before someone from her long-hidden past recognizes her and destroys the new life she's worked so hard to build, along with any chance of a future. 25 years earlier, Ruby Reyes, known as the Ice Queen, was convicted of a similar murder in a trial that was a media sensation and riveted the nation. Reyes knows who Paris really is, and when Reyes is unexpectedly granted an early release from prison, she threatens to expose all of Paris's secrets. Left with no other choice, Paris must finally, once and for all, confront the dark past she thought she had escaped, because the only thing worse than a murder charge is the dark personal history that Paris will do anything to keep hidden. Now, this was a very interesting book with it was a good, let's see how many pages it was. It was 342 pages. You always get a hardbound book. And it had very good character development. I will give it that. And it gave you a very good look into Paris's life, her past life. It had very good character development in it. And I will say I was surprised by the ending of this book. So I did like it in that regards. The only thing I didn't like about this book is that it was so wrapped up in the characters of the book that they rushed everything. They rushed the ending too much, in my opinion. So that is the only thing that I really didn't like about this book was the ending. It was a good ending, but it was rushed. I felt like they spent way too much time developing the characters. And, when you have a really long book, you can do that. You can develop your characters and that's what they usually do with those really thick books, is they have big time character development in those thick books. But then they also have time to wrap up the ending. But in shorter books like these, you don't have as much time to develop your characters. You need to do that plot development and get to the ending and make your ending, for a better lack of words, a good ending. So I think there was just too much time put in character development, which I appreciate, but you need to do more plot development in the book. So that was the only critique I have for this book, was the ending was just kind of a mess. Now, the next book, this is the first book I got in the Book of the Month Club. It's called A Flicker in the Dark, and let me read you the synopsis. It says, when Chloe Davis was 12, 6 teenage girls went missing in her small Louisiana town. By the end of summer, her own father had confessed to the crimes and was put away for life, leaving Chloe and the rest of her family to grapple with the truth and try to move forward while dealing with the aftermath. Now, 20 years later, Chloe is a psychologist in Baton Rouge and getting ready for her wedding. While she finally has a fragile grasp on the happiness she's worked so hard to achieve, she sometimes feels out of control of her own life as the troubled teens who are her patients. So when a local teenage girl goes missing and then another, that terrifying summer comes crashing back. Is she paranoid, seeing parallels from her past that aren't actually there? Or for the second time in her life, is Chloe about to unmask a killer? From debut author... Okay, A Flicker in the Dark is eerily compelling to the very last page. I just wanted this book to end. It just went on and on and on. It did have a good twist, but I don't like... It did a good job, okay, in what it was supposed to do. It had an interesting twist, but I don't want to give too much away on this book, but I don't like who they choose to be the killer in this book. I don't like when books end that way, because it makes it seem like at the end that the protagonist is going to end up with a happy ending. And you don't feel good after you read this book. You feel like that they want you to make the character. It kind of makes you want to feel happy for the character at the end, but you don't, because she's up for a lifetime of PTSD, I guess you would say. She has, because it talks about her father killing troubled teens, she's had a hard life. But you don't want her to have a hard life at the end. But she is going to have a hard life at the end because of what happens at the end. And I just think it ended badly for her. And that's why I don't like the way it ended at all. So I kind of wish I hadn't picked this book. I don't recommend it, but I was very interested through reading the whole book, but then it ended, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish it hadn't ended that way. So anyway, that was that book. And now I am reading Firstborn by Will Dean. And let me read the synopsis for you. It says, the last thing a twin expects is to be alone. Molly lives a quiet, contained life in London. Naturally averse to risk, she gains comfort from security and structure. Every day is the same. Her identical twin Katie is her exact opposite, gregarious and spontaneous. They used to be inseparable until Katie moved to New York a year ago. Molly still speaks to her daily without fail. But when Molly learns that Katie has died suddenly, she is thrown into unfamiliar territory. Katie is part of her DNA. As terrifying as it is, she must go to New York and find out what happened. As she tracks her twin's last movements, cracks begin to emerge. Nothing is what it seems, and a web of deceit is closing around her. Now, I'm about halfway through this book, and it is very slow pacing. Not a lot has happened in this book, and there are a lot of characters in this book to try to keep up with. I'm halfway through, and there has been a twist in the book, so that is interesting. You've got one thing that's interesting is that you've got a man writing a woman character, which I don't normally have a problem with, but he's kind of writing things about a woman that as a woman, I don't see a woman actually doing. And, like roaming around a city, like late at night by herself. Like that's something, like New York City. Like that's something I wouldn't do. Maybe you would do that, I don't know. But, she has no problem doing that in this book. And she's like, just a second. She's like a 22-year-old girl. She's like a little wisp of a thing. And she's just walking around the city, walking around New York City, walking everywhere in New York City, all by herself. And I guess as a mother, I just see that as a problem. And, I don't know. I guess I can look past that. I don't know. It's just my thing. It's my thing about men writing women as characters. It's like, do you really think that she would do that? I don't know. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. I would be scared and she's, anyway, I am very interested in this book, but I'm afraid it's going to end up like this book. Like, the bad guy in this book is going to be like the bad guy in this book. That she's going to find out who the killer is, and it's going to basically ruin her life. So, yeah, I'm afraid for this book. I'm afraid to finish that book. Now, this book I just got from Alice Feeney. It's called Daisy Darker, and I forgot what it's about. So let's read the inset. It said, after years of avoiding one another, Daisy Darker's entire family is assembling for Nana's 80th birthday party in Nana's crumbling Gothic house on a tiny tidal island. They're finally back together one last time, and when the tide comes in, they will be cut off from the rest of the world for 8 hours. The family arrives, each of them harboring secrets. Then, at the stroke of midnight, as the storm rages, Nana is found dead. An hour later, the next family member follows. Trapped on an island where someone is killing them one by one, the Darkers must reckon with their present-day mystery as well as their past secrets before the tide goes out and all is revealed. With a wicked wink to Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. That is my favorite mystery book ever. Daisy Darker's unforgettable twist will leave readers reeling. I am so excited to read this book because that Agatha Christie book is like my favorite murder mystery book ever. I have read that so many times. So I'm looking forward to reading that book so much. Okay, now I want to talk about TV. I have not been watching TV at all lately, and I thought I would watch a Netflix series, and I keep hearing about the show Bridgerton, and I asked my friend Christine from Life with Christine if she has seen the show. And I was watching the first episode, and I asked her, okay, I have seen the first episode. Should I continue on with this show? Do you recommend it? And she said, yes, you should watch it, definitely. And I love this show. Now, it may not be for everybody, but I recommend it if you like this kind of stuff. It is set in the early 1800s in London, England, during the Regency era. And it is full of, it surrounds the family. It is the main family in the series is the Bridgerton family. And it is the Viscountess. She is a widow, and she has 8 children. And the first season centers kind of around her daughter, Daphne, who is being presented to society, and she has to be presented to the queen. It's like a debutante thing, I guess, where she is presented to society, and then she can be courted by the available men in society. And it's all about women wanting to get married and having children and going to balls and promenades and all that kind of thing. And there's a strikingly handsome Duke of Hastings named Simon, and will they or won't they kind of thing. And there's all these subplots of her brothers and sisters going on. And there's another family called the Featheringtons. But there is one sister who's like, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to, is there more for me? Do I have to get married? Do I have to have children? I want to do something else. And also, if you've ever watched Gossip Girl, this kind of reminds me of that, because there is a lady, Whistledown, who sends out this society page with lots of gossip in it, and everybody wants to know who Lady Whistledown is. And I was reading that they actually did have society pages where they talk gossip in them back in those days. So I thought that was very interesting. So anyway, I just thought I would recommend that to you if you like that kind of thing. It's a very romance fantasy kind of thing, which I didn't think I was into, but I really found this interesting because I don't like reading romance books. I don't really like watching romance shows, but I really fell into this one. So I just thought I'd recommend it if you do like that kind of thing. So take it for what it's worth. Okay, I'm going to take this off. I will be right back. Okay, that was a very nice mask. I like that one a lot. I never heard of Kala before. Okay, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any book recommendations for me, let me know down below. If you have any murder, mystery, thriller books that you like. And I hope you are having a wonderful, fantastic day out there today. If you are not, I hope that something comes along and sparks your day so that you can have a wonderful, fantastic day. And if you're having an especially hard time, know that I'm thinking about you and sending you out those good vibes. Just remember to stay strong, stay healthy, and stay smart out there. And I will see you in another video tomorrow. Just stay well until then. Okay, I will see you later. Goodbye.